A woman named Sarah would wake each night, her heart pounding from the same old nightmare. The details were always fuzzy, but the feeling of helplessness was sharp and real, a ghost from a past she could not outrun in her waking hours. Many of us carry shadows like these, moments of pain that feel permanently etched into our being. But what if you had a key to a hidden world where you could meet those shadows not as a victim, but as a healer? This is the promise of lucid dreaming, a profound method of using your sleeping mind to gently reshape the wounds of your past. By the end of this exploration, you will understand how to access this inner sanctuary and begin your own journey of profound emotional repair. We will uncover the surprising science of how your brain can rewrite traumatic memories and witness the incredible transformations of those who have walked this path before you. What part of your own story feels most in need of a new ending? That feeling Sarah experienced, the ghost of a past moment, is the echo of trauma. It is not the event itself, but the way it gets stuck within us. Think of your nervous system as a perfect recording device. During a highly stressful event, it captures every detail, the sights, the sounds, the overwhelming feeling of fear. But sometimes that experience is too intense to process fully. Instead of being stored as a complete memory you can recall and talk about, it gets trapped. It is like a deep scratch on a favorite record. The needle keeps skipping back to that one jarring moment, playing the same frightening snippet over and over, out of context and out of your control. These traumatic memories are often stored non-verbally and in fragments. You might not have a clear story to tell a therapist, just a sudden tightness in your chest, a flash of an image, or a wave of dread that seems to come from nowhere. It is like a computer file that has become corrupted. The data is there, but it is glitched and scattered, making it impossible to open and view properly. This is precisely why traditional talk therapy can sometimes hit a wall. How can you verbally process something that exists outside the realm of words? This fragmented nature of trauma is the key to understanding why a different approach is necessary. Your healing cannot always follow a straight, logical line because the wound itself is not logical. It is a tangled knot of sensation and emotion. To unravel it, you need a key that fits the same lock. You need a way to access the mind in its raw, symbolic, and non-linear state. This is where the world of dreams becomes not just an escape, but a direct pathway to the very heart of those stuck echoes, offering a language that your deepest self understands perfectly. That hidden world is a lucid dream. It is more than just knowing you are asleep. It is a moment of pure awakening inside the dream itself, where the world around you, no matter how bizarre, feels utterly real and completely under your command. The colors are more vibrant, the textures of a stone wall under your fingertips are sharp and detailed, and the scent of rain on warm earth is intoxicatingly clear. Reality becomes fluid. You can decide to fly, and the ground will simply fall away. You can wish for a door to appear, and it will materialize right before your eyes. This is not passive viewing, it is active participation. You are no longer a passenger in your own mind. You are the pilot, the architect, and the hero of the story all at once. This incredible sense of agency is rooted in your brain. During a normal dream, your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for logical thought and self-awareness, is mostly offline. But in a lucid dream, it flickers back to life. It is like a director walking onto the movie set of your mind, suddenly able to shout "cut" and change the script. This re-engagement of your critical thinking faculties is what allows you to recognize the dream for what it is and then, miraculously, to begin steering it. I remember the story of a man named Leo who had his first lucid dream after weeks of practice. He found himself in his childhood backyard, a place he had not visited in decades. Everything was exactly as he remembered, but he suddenly noticed the family dog, who had passed away years ago, joyfully chasing a butterfly. In that moment, a thought erupted with perfect clarity. This is a dream. A wave of exhilaration washed over him. He knelt down and the dog ran into his arms. He could feel the warmth of its fur and the weight of its body, a sensation so vivid it brought tears to his sleeping eyes. For the first time since the dog's passing, he was not just remembering, he was truly reuniting. That profound, tangible experience is the heart of lucid dreaming. It is the mind's most powerful theater, a space where the impossible becomes your new reality. But how does a dream become such a powerful tool for healing? The answer lies in the unique way our sleeping mind processes our deepest emotions. While you rest, your brain is not simply replaying the day's events. It is actively sifting through your experiences, sorting what to keep and what to let go. For emotional memories, especially painful ones, this is a critical time. Think of your mind as a vast library. During the day, the library is bustling and crowded, making it hard to find a quiet moment to reorganize a single, messy shelf. But at night, when the library is closed, the staff can finally get to work. They can take that old, damaged book off the shelf, carefully mend its torn pages, and place it back in its proper place. This is what your brain tries to do with emotional memories as you dream. It attempts to process and file them away to reduce their raw, overwhelming power. Trauma, however, is like a book that is too frightening to even open. The library staff simply leaves it on the floor, a dangerous tripping hazard that you keep stumbling over night after night. This is why our dreams often return to these unresolved feelings, presenting them to us not as clear facts but as symbols and stories. A feeling of powerlessness might appear as being chased by a shadowy figure. A buried sense of betrayal might manifest as your teeth falling out. This symbolic language is the mind's native tongue. It bypasses the logical, critical parts of your waking mind that often build walls to protect you from pain. In a dream, those defenses are down. You are presented with the raw emotional truth of your experience, but wrapped in a narrative you can actually interact with. This brings us to one of the most exciting discoveries in modern psychology, a process called memory reconsolidation. It is the brain's innate ability to update old memories with new information. Every time you recall a memory, it becomes temporarily flexible, like clay that has been warmed in your hands. For a short window, you can reshape it before it solidifies again. In a lucid dream, you are not just recalling a traumatic memory, you are reliving a version of it in a completely new context, a context where you are awake and in control. You can approach that shadowy figure chasing you and discover it is just a scared child. You can find your lost teeth and realize they are made of pearl, more beautiful than before. By introducing these new, positive experiences into the heart of the old fear, you are not erasing the past, you are teaching your nervous system a new ending. You are updating the file, rewriting the corrupted data with a message of safety and empowerment. The memory itself may not vanish, but its emotional charge, its power to trigger that same old panic, can be profoundly and permanently diminished. This profound rewriting of the past begins with a simple, daily practice of paying closer attention. The very first step on this path is to cultivate a friendship with your dreaming mind, and that starts the moment you wake up. Keep a notebook and pen right on your nightstand. Before you even sit up, before you check your phone, lie still for a moment and ask yourself, what was I just experiencing? Grab that notebook and write down everything you can recall. It does not need to be a full story. Start with a single image, a lingering feeling, a strange color, or even just a word. The goal is not to produce a literary masterpiece, but to signal to your subconscious that you are listening. You are telling that part of your mind that its nightly productions are valuable and worth remembering. Over time, this simple act of recording will build a bridge. your dream recall will naturally improve, and you will start to notice recurring patterns, symbols, and landscapes. This is your inner world revealing its map. Alongside your dream journal, you can train your waking mind to question its own reality. These are called reality checks, and they are wonderfully simple habits that build the mental muscle for lucidity. The idea is to perform them several times a day whenever a specific trigger occurs. For instance, every time you walk through a doorway, pause and ask yourself, "Am I dreaming?" Then perform a quick test. Try to push the fingers of one hand through the palm of the other. In waking life, your hand is solid, but in a dream, your fingers might just pass right through. Another powerful check is to look at a line of text, look away, and then look back. In a dream, the text will almost always change, blur, or become complete nonsense. The purpose of these checks is not just the action itself, but the moment of genuine questioning. You are cultivating a habit of mindful skepticism. By doing this consistently in your waking hours, you are far more likely to carry that same questioning mindset into your dreams. One night, you will find yourself in a strange situation, and a little voice in your head will say, "Wait a minute, this feels familiar. Let me try to push my finger through my hand." And when it works, the entire dream world will snap into a new, breathtaking focus. This process is not about a quick fix. It is about building a new, patient relationship with the deepest parts of yourself. Consistency is far more important than perfection. Some days you will remember vivid dreams, other days your journal may only have a single word. Some days you will forget every single reality check. That is perfectly okay. This is a practice of gentle return, not of rigid discipline. You are learning to listen to a language you have always spoken but rarely consciously heard. Each small effort is a seed you are planting in the fertile soil of your mind. With patience and kindness toward your own process, you are laying the foundation for a profound shift, one where you will no longer be a spectator in your own inner world, but an active, healing presence within it. That moment of lucidity arrives like a sudden dawn in the middle of the night. 1 second, you are simply experiencing the dream, and the next, a brilliant, quiet certainty clicks into place. This is my mind, this world is my creation. It is not a feeling of frantic excitement, though that may come later, but a deep and steady clarity. The dream itself might sharpen, the colors becoming impossibly rich, the air feeling charged with potential. You are suddenly both the audience and the author, holding the pen to a story that was once writing you. This is the pivotal shift from passenger to pilot, and it is here that the real healing work can begin. But with this great power comes a crucial choice. The immediate temptation might be to fly over mountains or summon a feast to test the limits of this new reality. True therapeutic lucidity, however, asks for a different kind of courage. It asks for purpose. The most important action you can take in that first lucid moment is to remember your intention. This is why setting that goal before you even fall asleep is so vital. In the quiet darkness of your bedroom, as you drift toward sleep, you plant a seed in your subconscious. You gently repeat a simple, clear phrase to yourself. I will find a place of safety in my dream. I wish to speak with the part of me that feels afraid. I want to understand the sadness I have been carrying. This is not a command shouted at your mind, but an invitation whispered to it. You are giving your dreaming self a compass. Then, when you become lucid, that intention is your anchor. The dream may present you with 1,000 distractions, a carnival of wonders begging for your attention. But you can pause, take a metaphorical breath in that lucid space and recall your purpose. You might look around the dreamscape and say, out loud, "Show me what I need to see to heal." The dream, in its mysterious wisdom, will often respond. Perhaps a door you had not noticed before swings open, revealing a quiet garden. Maybe a guide, a person, or even an animal approaches you with a calm and knowing presence. The goal is not to wrestle the dream into submission, forcing it to conform to a rigid script. It is to engage with it consciously, to become a curious and compassionate investigator of your own inner world. You are stepping into the symbolic landscape of your pain, not as a warrior, but as a healer, ready to listen to what it has to say. This conscious, purposeful engagement is what transforms a fascinating mental adventure into a profound journey of emotional repair. You find yourself standing at the edge of a quiet, misty forest. The air is cool, and the only sound is the soft crunch of pine needles under your feet. This is your lucid dream, and you remember your intention. You are here to heal. As you walk forward, a figure emerges from the shadows, sitting on a large, moss-covered log. It is a younger version of yourself, perhaps from a time you remember as being particularly difficult. They are curled in on themselves, head bowed, radiating a palpable sense of sorrow. Your first instinct, born from a lifetime of self-criticism, might be to demand why they are so sad or to tell them to just get up, but you have practiced a different way. You simply sit beside them, leaving a respectful space between you. You do not try to touch them or force an interaction. You just breathe and observe. You notice the way their shoulders are hunched, the old, faded jacket they are wearing, the way their small hands are clenched into fists. You offer no judgment, only a quiet, patient presence. After a few moments of shared silence, you ask a gentle question, your voice soft in the dream air. What do you need? The young version of you does not look up, but their shoulders tremble. A single whispered word floats between you, safety. In that moment you understand. The original experience lacked that fundamental feeling of security. So you begin to create it right there in the dream. You imagine a soft, warm blanket and gently place it around their shoulders. You visualize a small, cheerful campfire springing to life in front of you, its crackling flames pushing back the mist and the chill. You do not say the danger is gone. You simply build a sanctuary where it cannot reach. You are providing the resource that was missing in the original memory. This is not about changing the facts of the past, but about changing the emotional environment in which that memory is held. You are meeting a deep, unmet need with profound self-compassion. This act of giving yourself what you once desperately needed is the core of the rewiring process. Your brain, in its dream state, is not distinguishing between this symbolic, deeply felt act and a real-world experience of comfort. The powerful, positive feelings of safety and care you are generating are being woven directly into the neural tapestry of the old memory. You are telling your nervous system a new story about that painful chapter, a story where you are not alone and helpless, but where you are protected and loved. The younger version of you finally looks up, their eyes meeting yours. They do not smile, but the tension in their face softens. They pull the blanket tighter. This single, compassionate encounter, experienced with the full sensory vividness of a lucid dream, can begin to dissolve the sharp, painful edges of a memory that has haunted you for years. The story you tell yourself about who you are and what you survived is being gently, powerfully rewritten from the inside out. That quiet moment of understanding with your younger self is not just a beautiful idea, it is a documented reality for many who have walked this path. Consider the story of a former soldier whom we will call James. For years after his service, his nights were a battleground. He would relive the same ambush, feeling the same gut-wrenching helplessness as his dream self was pinned down by enemy fire. In his waking hours, he felt detached and angry, the memory a locked box of pain he could not open. Then, after months of dream journaling, he achieved lucidity right in the middle of that familiar nightmare. The gunfire was deafening, the dust filled his mouth, but this time a new thought cut through the panic. I am dreaming, I can change this. Instead of fighting, he made a conscious choice. He stood up from his cover, his hands empty and open. He looked directly at the faceless enemy soldiers and spoke a single word, peace. In his dream, the gunfire stopped instantly. The soldiers lowered their weapons, and one by one, they faded into a soft morning mist. The landscape itself transformed from a war-torn street into a quiet, sun-drenched field. James did not erase the memory of the ambush, but he rewrote its emotional core. The feeling of helpless terror was replaced with a profound sense of agency and resolution. When he woke, the heavy weight he had carried for a decade was noticeably lighter. The nightmare never returned in its original form. His brain had successfully updated the file, integrating a new ending where he was not a victim of the past, but an active creator of his own peace. Then there is the story of a woman whom we will refer to as Maya, who survived a childhood marked by constant criticism. As an adult, she was highly successful, yet she was plagued by a deep-seated feeling of being an imposter, of never being quite good enough. Her recurring dream was not of a specific event, but a sensation. She would be in a beautiful house, but she could hear a relentless, critical voice coming from another room, a voice that made her feel small and worthless. One night, she became lucid just as the voice began. Remembering her intention to heal, she did not flee or hide. She walked toward the sound. She opened a door and found not a monster, but a version of her own mother, looking anxious and exhausted, repeating the same harsh phrases Maya had heard all her life. In her lucid state, Maya understood this was not her actual mother, but a dream figure representing those old, internalized criticisms. She looked at the figure and, with a compassion that surprised her, said, "I understand you are afraid. But I am an adult now and I am safe. Your job is done." The figure slowly quieted and then dissolved. In its place, a warm, golden light filled the room. For Maya, this was a pivotal moment of reclaiming her own narrative. She was not dismissing her past, but consciously choosing which voices would hold power in her present. The feeling of being an imposter did not vanish overnight, but its grip loosened significantly. She had met the source of her pain within the safety of her own mind and had chosen a new response, one built on self-compassion rather than fear. These stories are not magical exceptions. They are powerful examples of the brain's natural capacity to heal itself when given the right tools and the right environment. James did not fight his trauma, he transformed it with an act of radical peace. Maya did not silence her critic, she understood and released it. Their experiences highlight a crucial truth about this work. Lucid dreaming does not ask you to defeat your demons in a dramatic battle. It invites you to understand them, to listen to what they represent, and to offer them the compassion and safety that was missing in the original moment. This is how you update the story your nervous system has been telling you for years. This is how a memory of pain becomes a testament to your own resilience and your innate ability to heal. This journey into your inner world is profound, but it is not without its challenges. When you begin to consciously engage with the deep currents of your mind, the waters can sometimes feel turbulent. It is crucial to approach this work with both courage and care, ensuring your emotional safety remains the highest priority. For some, the initial stages of lucid dreaming can bring a temporary increase in dream intensity. Vivid dreams might feel more vivid, and old anxieties might surface with renewed strength. This is not a sign that you are doing something wrong. In fact, it is often a sign that you are doing something right. Your subconscious is responding to your attention, bringing long-buried material to the surface for the very purpose of healing it. Think of it like cleaning out a cluttered attic. At first, you have to pull everything out into the light, and the space can look even messier than before. But this is an essential step toward creating a new, more peaceful order. Your emotional stability is your foundation for this work. If you are currently experiencing severe depression, anxiety, or post-traumatic stress, it is incredibly important to have professional support. A qualified therapist acts as a compassionate guide, a steady anchor in your waking life as you navigate the powerful landscapes of your dreams. They can help you process the insights and emotions that arise, integrating them into your daily healing. Do not see this as a weakness, but as the wisest form of strength. You are building a support system for one of the most important journeys you will ever take, the journey back to your whole self. And within the dream itself, you always hold the ultimate control. If a lucid dream ever becomes too intense or overwhelming, you have simple and effective ways to exit. One of the most reliable methods is to simply spin your dream body. Extend your arms and twirl just like a child. This act often disrupts the dream's stability and can either shift the scene entirely or wake you up gently. Another powerful strategy is to intentionally call out for a loved one, someone who represents pure safety to you. Shout their name or visualize them appearing right in front of you. The dream will often respond to this heartfelt call for security, bringing that comforting presence into the experience or ending the dream altogether. Remember, you are the architect of this reality. If a dream figure feels threatening, you can choose to see them not as a monster but as a messenger. You can ask them, "What do you represent? What are you here to teach me?" This reframes a confrontation into a conversation, empowering you to gather insight without fear. These tools are your emergency exits and your peace treaties, ensuring that your exploration remains a safe and empowering voyage. This is not about battling your inner world, but about learning its language and navigating it with the profound respect it deserves. The most profound healing begins when we realize we are not powerless in the face of our past. We all hold within us a quiet, internal sanctuary, a world built from the very fabric of our own minds where we can meet our oldest pains not as prisoners but as healers. This is the true gift of lucid dreaming. It is not an escape from reality, but a deep dive into the very source of your being, a place where you can reclaim the narrative of your own life. This journey asks for no special tools or expensive therapies, only your own courageous and compassionate attention. It is a practice of turning inward with kindness, of listening to the symbols and stories your soul has been trying to tell you all along. You rewrite your history not by erasing it, but by bringing the light of your present-day strength and understanding into its darkest corners. You learn to offer your younger self the safety they once craved, and in doing so, you teach your entire nervous system a new, peaceful way to exist. This path is yours to walk. Your mind is waiting, ready to guide you toward a version of your story where you are not defined by what happened to you, but empowered by how you chose to heal. We would love to hear about your own steps on this path. Have you had a lucid dream that brought you clarity or peace? What questions are stirring in your mind about this incredible inner world? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. And if you're ready to continue exploring the vast landscape of your own potential, subscribe for more journeys into the hidden power of your mind.